Hey, what's going on YouTube? It is the mouselady here, and today we're going to be reviewing a Cordura mousepad by a company called Eve, which is a company I've personally never heard of before hearing about this mousepad. After watching House Gaming's review of this same pad, this company apparently has some controversial history that I actually wasn't aware of, but I won't be discussing that in my review of their mousepad. For transparency, Eve was kind enough to send this pad out for review, but that won't have any impact on my overall thoughts of the pad. Before getting into how I enjoyed the pad, let me tell you a little bit about it. This is a crowd-developed mousepad according to Eve, and is a Cordura fabric pad. This pad and the Endgame Gear MPC450 are the only Cordura pads that I have tried at the time of recording this video, so I'll be basing my experiences with this pad compared to the MPC450. This pad doesn't seem to have a name, so I'll be referring to it as the Eve pad throughout this entire video. On their website, which I will link down below, you will be able to buy the pad in 5 different sizes, ranging from 300 by 250 millimeters, 400 by 300 millimeters, 500 by 500 millimeters, 900 by 350 millimeters, and 1000 by 500 millimeters, which is the size that they sent me. Pricing will vary depending on the size, of course, with the smallest being $20 and the largest being $50. All of the pads are 3 millimeters thick. The stitching on this pad is actually pretty good, but is slightly raised above the mousepad's surface. I didn't find the stitching abrasive on my arm and is on the softer and plushier side for stitching. The rubber base is your standard non-slip rubber base, and I had no issues with the pad moving around on my desk. My pad came rolled up in a very minimal branding box and took about a full day to lay completely flat, even on the largest size pad that they sent me. Since this is a Cordura pad, the surface is uncoated. In the bottom right of the pad, you will find the Eve logo, which is a very minimal dark gray upside down triangle, which isn't raised above the mousepad's surface, so it won't affect the glide of your mouse. If I missed anything about the pad that you wish to know, just comment down below and I'll answer any questions that you may have. So now moving on to my overall experiences with the pad over the last 3 weeks that I've been testing and using this pad. So I'll start off by saying that this pad really ended up surprising me, and if you want the TLDR, this is pretty much a slower MPC450 with insane stopping power, slightly higher static friction, not as abrasive on your arm, and comes in the 500 by 500 millimeter size that we all love and wish other companies made. Since it's a Cordura pad, it's extremely durable, easy to clean, and will be a faster pad than your typical cloth pad. The glide on this pad is still on the faster side, but the MPC450 is most definitely faster. When doing glide tests on the Eve pad, the mouse comes to a dead stop instead of slowing down then stopping. To me, the X and Y axis felt exactly the same, and I had no issues with vertical movements or tracking in-game. The pad isn't affected by the temperature or humidity whatsoever and felt extremely consistent while I've been using it for the last 3 weeks. The surface of the pad compared to the MPC450 felt less abrasive, but it's still Cordura, so if you have sensitive skin like me, you'll definitely want to wear a sleeve, especially if you're an arm aimer. Since they sent me the biggest size available for this pad, I never once ran out of room to where I'd hit the stitching. The stitching on this pad is really soft and felt a lot less abrasive on my arm than the MPC450 stitching did, so my in-game performance on this pad. I did find tracking a little difficult on this pad compared to the MPC450, but my flicks were insane due to the shockingly good stopping power that the Eve pad has. Whenever I'd switch back to the MPC450 so that I could compare the two pads, the MPC450 would always feel slippery at first while I was trying to adjust to it, but I never once got that with the Eve pad and always felt very stable on it. My micro adjustments on the pad seem to be a hit or a miss, since the static friction is a little higher on the Eve pad than the MPC450's. The only thing I would suggest to Eve as far as improving the pad would be to try and make the stitching flush or lower than the surface of the pad. Other than that though, there isn't really too much else about the pad that I didn't like, which is kind of shocking. This pad actually really ended up surprising me, and I really ended up enjoying it. I love how they kept the branding extremely minimal on the pad itself and didn't raise it above the surface. I think all of us can also agree on appreciating the 500 by 500 millimeter size, as well as the other sizing options depending on what you're looking for. So if you've tried the MPC450 or wanted to try it but were afraid that it would be too fast, I really recommend looking into this pad. It's still a faster pad, but not extremely fast like the MPC450 is, and has shockingly good stopping power for a Cordura pad. So that will conclude my review of the Eve Cordura pad. If you watched this far, thank you so much. If I missed anything about the pad that you wish to know, just ask me down in the comments and I will get back to you. Once again, thanks to Eve for sending the pad out, and with all that being said, I'll see you in the next one.